I needed a student account. The university gave me a letter.
Yeah.
The bank refused to open an account for me.
In the UK?
Yes. As we speak now, I can't change $1 anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yes. They've put me on a money laundering list. They claim I'm laundering money for evangelical conservatives in the US. So I can't change, not anywhere. And I've done some travels in the UK and Dubai. I can't change because when I say who got change here, you better swipe your passport. Yeah. Yes, swipe your passport now. Now when we say
Sam George.
Now when we say cashier and the Nimasa, then they hand your passport back to you and they're like as though we, and they're like, no, we can't change for you. Sorry. Because you see, it is mind-boggling the number of people who fasted and prayed on their own just for this. It is shocking. Salaka on own just to make sure Sam George imam Quran. Prayer chains are almost set up prayer chains. Sorry, some churches held a whole fasting and prayer for a week for that election way.
Oh, it went that far.
And that's why I kept saying it was a battle between light and darkness. I kept saying that this election, it wasn't about Sam George. Ballot paper, but it was deeper. You know, the heads of churches, senior heads of churches, I'm far phone a frame, a bompire mommy, a shaman crying, encouraging me to go ahead, that they were standing with me. Obi, and look, I have seen videos from Tamale of the celebration when the announcement was made. Says Sam George are winning. At that time, no, not candidates in Sujina MPs in Sujina Ho, MPs no LED delegates to celebrate the victory in
the victory of Sam George,
not their own,
rather than a Momo victory.
That's how important this was. Minya Mutala at 2 p.m. Mutala Mohammed 2 p.m. of Frame with the constituency chairman and vice chairman. Besame say, how is my election going? Abra election is also what the
yeah, tone as well.
Now Attorney General I said to him that look, you better be careful. I can understand why the Attorney General made those comments last week. He made those comments 48 hours before the government went to the IMF, went for the board level. So he was pushed in because for the Attorney General to say in an interview with your sister station Joy that there are financial considerations in our bill.
Or say the bill in its current form, if it's passed, the president might not assent.
The Attorney General was not being truthful. He said that look, as far as it's concerned, in fact, Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act, Godfrey Dami said he thought that as it stands today on our books is discriminatory, and that this bill takes away the discrimination because Section 104 talks about slightest level of penetration, and he holds the view said lesbians cannot do penetration, and so our bill evens out, corrects that. He went ahead to cite the Children's Act and say when we say you cannot adopt or foster children, there have been amendments to the Children's Act even in that, so we are strengthening the Children's Act. When we say we're voiding marriages, he said it is right because the Marriage Act recognizes marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Our bill takes it further to say a union between a man and woman whose sex was determined biologically at birth. He was in favor of all of that, and I said Godfrey Dami said to me that I should quote him anywhere that he supports the bill. So why is he now saying that if the bill went to the president could not sign that the constitutional challenges? If the government was going for an IMF program 2 days later, he should have been minded about his comments, and that's what I'm saying. He will be part of the debate, and I will put it to him on the floor and bring the records from the committee, because committee records are part of the records of the House.
Okay.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You name say a friend Kojo Boaten Ajeman, Baoko is still a baby now friend chairman Kojo. He into Kwa will be home.
So the emphasis and Papa say first lady say Mekache said they should tell the first lady to come and build a special needs school, because girl no is a special needs child.
Okay.
Strangely, she has 8.8 stretch from Old Ningo to
serves as platform for reporting and resolving issues. O fault eba okani the opa to be a born na the LGBT lobby no more interest for election we mo.
Oh, absolutely.
You think so?
I know so. I know so.
And what was the interest? No more interest here then. To see you lose.
We use some George for her. No. I'm enemy number one. I'm public enemy number one.
Because you were the face of the advocacy.
Cartoons now, Kaumbe releases, Meluzini, idea.
Oh, who was that information in?
Oh yeah. Uka is a guy be out or to Nyum on some UK station be. Wow,
yeah. I remember.
Why Nyuma and Kao release the trolley me.
Oh,
that's how prepared they were for they were sure that I was going to lose the elections. But
do you believe the narrative said they somehow tried to influence this election? Support.
I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
Through support to opponent,
absolutely.
That narrative is true.
Yes, it is.
As far as you are concerned.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's why I called on the religious bodies to also show their hands. In their case, they didn't give resources.
Yeah.
But what they gave was prayer. And what they gave was endorsement of us. And so Bekai said a coalition led by Fuamweni.
Yes.
That coalition is made up of the Christian Council, the National Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council, the National Association of Charismatic Churches, Catholic Bishops Conference, the Apostolic Fathers, the Office of the Chief Imam, Ahmadiyya Movement, Coalition of Muslim Groups, Advocate for Christ. Yes.
Omunina throw support behind endorse.
Yes. And you see, Obi, Mami for platform way na menda Ghana for us. Because election way although Ghana for a chair, you know. Because you see, it is mind-boggling the number of people who fasted and prayed on their own just for this. It is shocking. Salaka on our own just to make sure that some joy. Imam say kind Quran. Prayer chains are almost setting up prayer chains. Some churches held a whole fasting and prayer for a week for some election way.
Oh, it went that far.
And that's why I kept saying it was a battle between light and darkness. I kept saying that this election, it wasn't about Sam George. Ballot paper, but it was deeper. You know, the heads of churches, senior heads of churches, I'm far phone a frame, a bompire mommy, a shaman crying, encouraging me to go ahead, that they were standing with me. Obi, and look, I have seen videos from Tamale of the celebration when the announcement was made. Says Sam George are winning. At that time, no, not candidates in Sujina MPs in Sujina MPs no LED delegates to celebrate the victory in
the victory of Sam George,
not their own,
rather than a Momo victory.
That's how important this was. Minya Mutala at 2 p.m. Mutala Mohammed 2 p.m. of Frame with the constituency chairman and vice chairman. Besame say, how is my election going? Abra election is also what the
yeah, true. That's why.
Man, the constituency vice chairman bompire mama catch him say, I should make sure say because they are all waiting for my victory. On the same day they were having their own elections. So this was not about Sam George. This was bigger than Sam George. You know, my sister Lydia and is it Tempani?
Yeah.
She went unopposed, but whilst they were having their congress, that offer almost every hour now offer Bisamase. I mean, wow. It meant so much to so many people.
Now, the Catholic, the religious heads in our country, so some of these big churches, Apostolic Church in Pennyfor,
Church of Pentecost,
Wawa, Parish Chapel,
Royal House.
Yes, you mean all these
Bishop Titi of
all these big pastors reached out to you,
Chief. Me phone encouraging messages on the Friday night
before the election,
voice note messages. You know, a big crowd were outside the country, time zone, at the time now omo message me we be say eye anajo midnight omo omo message me share me crying catch him say look, we are praying and standing with you. And so this was not about me, this was about God, this was about the country. And you see, it's made me realize Ghana for recognize when they want to recognize and support you. Onya, look, there were delegates who said to me, Honorable, my name opinion way ewo MPP or ye constituency executive and now ye party nipa ewo MPP but my name no as ejuma but frame me amma me warning say LGBT anti-LGBTQ bill nente me ye NDC ni on him say me ye delegate won go pam ma me warning say man hwe ye na makoto etia wo na onho a na manwani a juma wo de bedi me. Some work for, if I one of the delegates works in a senior MPP person's company. Okay. Also in part catch obey need. And the party catch say a picture of the vote say what to mame.
Wow.
Because look, the support for this bill is not just NDC. There are senior people, there are people in the office of the president who picked the phone and called me and prayed for me.
Office of the president.
Yes. Because what we are talking and what we are fighting about, and your political law, and look, like I keep saying, this one I will show you some of the things. You don't need to mention names.
Sure.
Ekusi saying on Asempa FM 94.7.
Now share message now down here.
Yeah. Congratulations, Honorable. I thank God for your victory. We would always pray for you. Wow.
When the power sending me a message.
Yeah.
And there are several more of this. You know. So it is. Look.
But what this means, they say now, because of the trust, we'll start with because we are almost like a national support in this election. It means everything you and your colleagues will do to push this bill through, you would have to do it now.
Obi, with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man, Batman, I can Spider-Man.
Yeah.
See, I'm a damn into me now. Because I'm asking myself, I can't fail the millions of Ghanaians in Ghana and outside who prayed, who supported, who called. No, you be insure 100 packets. Every you see, Ningo Nibi or Ohio. And I was one man is come and Ninuawo constituency was say, now this support. I mean, people did things to make this election happen. And I owe it to every single one of them. And so for me, I can make only one pledge and one commitment that I will not rest until this bill is passed. And not just this bill, but I would not rest to continue to be a voice for the ordinary Ghanaian. Because I realize people appreciate the fact that we stand up and speak for the ordinary Ghanaian in a lot of because my advocacy has gone beyond. It's not just the LGBTQ, be it SIM registration, be it closure things, brutalities against citizens from media men and citizens from security services. We would continue to speak, and whether it is the NDC, and I'm confident the NDC will win in 2025 by God's grace. Under the next Mahama administration, I will remain a very critical voice. And everybody should prepare for it. Because we need to have a certain cadre of critical voices that act as checks and balances on us as
even on their own party.
Absolutely. It is the only way you can keep your party on track. You understand me? Because he who you love, the Bible says, he who the Lord loves, he chastises. You understand me? And say now because say one penny ya say cry wonka but what can I yet to me see And so for me, it's about this country, because Obi, we have only one country.
Yeah.
And so for me, I have come to that place where I've told myself that, Sam, you will do your politics, but your politics must always carry the country along. And that for me it's a big lesson I've learned. I told you I learned lessons from every election. You know, it's a big lesson I've learned from here. And you know, there are those who say, oh, but Sam George said he puts the NDC above Ghana. But I've always said, political parties are vehicles that we use to steer the affairs of the state. So I don't see the day the NDC decides that it's going to take a corporate decision against the interest of the country, it is to be a party worth supporting. So if I support the NDC, it is because what the NDC is championing is for the betterment of the country.
Interest of the country.
You can't segregate both. You understand me? And so for me, and that's why for me, I would continue to be critical. If you listen to some of my interviews post these elections, I did PM Express and all. I've been calling on the party to take certain measures. For example, working on internal discipline, because you see, we need to have discipline as a party.
Where discipline means what? Discipline
within the party. That's a party. That's a multimedia. You, if I'm not mistaken, you have over 300 staff, or 700 staff.
Kumasi included.
Fantastic. Just multimedia, 700 staff. Don't you take disciplinary measure?
Sure, we do.
Then imagine the NDC that had over 6 million votes and has over 4 million registered members. You need to have discipline in the party. If you don't instill discipline in the party, everybody becomes law and God unto himself. So it's important that we instill discipline. And for me, I have always held the view, say me braping Swaga na Abba Studios is here. Say Swaga enya. You shouldn't say he's a former MPNT.
Intiminka.
Yeah, sir. Say branch chairman be. Me constituency the same thing. I'll bet me So don't tell me somebody is an elder of the party and now he was there in 79 or 1 year. Let us have discipline. When the party is disciplined, we will win power in a heartbeat like this.
But you don't.
And it would help us. It would help us to govern the country better.
You don't see the current national executives doing that?
No, that's why I'm calling on them, because I trust them.
Okay.
Because Obia Oye, your chairman, and Johnson, I said, when he was general secretary, and you don't know Pamo Alote Jacobs ni Kokahiro. He took that decision, and I trust the strength of Asedu Nketia when it comes to taking tough decisions. I have seen him stick his neck out when even the majority are not in favor of it. Or see, this is the way to go. It is the one you trust that you call on. Say, Obina, if I don't trust you to do something, why will I call on you to do it? I've sat in Parliament. I met Fifi Kwete in Parliament. I know the strength of character that Fifi has, and that's why I'm saying, that's why I'm making this call now. As I say, Nipa Oye national chairman and Nipa Oye general secretary. These two people, if they say they will instill discipline in the NDC, nobody can stand in their way.
Have you seen traits of indiscipline beer ubit my highlights the way or munche
and it's an internal party issue. I've raised those issues with them.
By a BB or man swanu ebe hardring.
Oh yes, it's important that the party has discipline. Any party that doesn't have discipline cannot win power. No, you can't win power if you don't have discipline. And look at the NDC in 2005 2006 after the breakaway from the NDC. What was left? Wayo and Co brought discipline into the party. The party was focused. There was tunnel vision. Everybody was singing from the same hymn book.
And you won 2008.
Yes, but when there is no discipline and there is discordant views, everybody is low unto themselves. You can't create the synergy you need to win power. We have 16 months or 18 months to the general election. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to Ghana. We owe it to John Mahama to unite this party and be disciplined. An electoral machine that wins is a disciplined one. And so when we do all the campaigning and talk about everything, the base of it is discipline. Discipline puts everybody in line, such that when the leader, our new leader, John Dramani Mahama, who is now leader of the party, Oma direction, Obi an sorry wo ne krasi and ne constituency counter instruction. Dabi. Everybody is on the same page. Line. We fall in line and go behind the leader. Ultimately, but when you have pockets of centers of power with interest and leader the matching order, now Obi or say left hand, now be turning right. No. Yeah. We can't run a party like that.
And so far, that is what you see now.
I haven't said that's what I'm seeing now. I'm calling. Be careful. Be careful. You don't want me to open fire on you. I have not said anywhere that's what I'm seeing now.
A question.
And I'm saying, sir, I am calling on our leadership because I trust in their abilities
to ensure
that discipline, because the core ingredient for our victory
discipline.
Is discipline.
If
the party is disciplined, Obi,
you can win the elections.
Look, I keep saying, say, Usa Ghana for line 33 million Ghanaians, and now for 18 million voters. Now some line 10. Now see NDC to the right, MPP to the left, NDC for doors, say MPP for.
You sure about that?
The doors will say one more. But it is discipline that will help you to get all of your people.
Of them to fall behind
Absolutely.
you. My final question to you, Sam, would be, sir, earlier you made a point, sir, through this advocacy, people don't know the sacrifices you've had to make, and some of the losses are when you're personally. Do you mind to share a movie?
Oh, I'll write a book after, and I'll chronicle, and especially when we are done. But I mean, and it's not just me. It's
colleagues,
you've forgotten. I can make reference to some because they are already public. Suhini was rejected a visa to Holland.
Mekai.
And the reason for rejection was that he lacked social ties to Ghana. A member of parliament, sitting member of parliament, lacks social ties. And so on that particular matter, I had to tweet at the Dutch ambassador and tell him that I was also going to make a list of all Dutch businesses in Ghana and call for a boycott of all Dutch businesses. Then he came back and said, and made for me what was the most silly excuse ever, that it was an administrative error. Then I sent back a tweet to him and said, that even shows how poor he is at being an ambassador. If an application of a diplomatic passport holder coming from the office of the Speaker of Parliament for an official trip can be subject to an administrative error, what is happening to several other ordinary Ghanaians who are paying so much and you are rejecting them visas? Are we to assume that there's so much administrative error there? The next day they granted him the visa.
Wow.
I went to do a program in LSE, for example. I needed a student account. The university gave me a letter. The bank refused to open an account for me.
In the UK?
Yes. As we speak now, I can't change $1 anywhere in the world.
Really?
Yes. They've put me on a money laundering list. They claim I'm laundering money for evangelical conservatives in the US. So I can't change, not anywhere. And I've done some travels in the UK and Dubai. I can't change because when I say who got change here, you better swipe your passport. Yeah, swipe your passport now. Now when we say
Sam George.
Now when we say cashier, then they hand your passport back to you and like as though we, and they're like, no, we can't change for you. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
In Utukaya, what do you do?
Masa, you have to find the currency of the country. Who need be a I just pagan and be now or you use your bank card. I can't travel with money. You travel and you get pulled out. Even when I travel my diplomatic passport, you get pulled out of the line. You think that maybe they want to give you a special service because you've seen the diplomatic passport. They put you in a room for 2 hours. You just leave you sitting there.
Since advocates we shall see him.
Yes. Pull you out, leave you sitting there for 2 hours. Embarrass you because then you've gotten off a plane with Ghanaians and people see security people come and surround you and walk you into a room, set your bags and all of that, just to harass you.
Now,
but you see those things, they don't know me well. Those things, they give me hunger to pass this bill. It is those things that spur me on. Because the more you try to break me, the harder I'll come at you.
And you've not gotten to a point, Awaka Charlie, is this worth it? Why don't I forget this? And
Obi, it is like we say in our faith. I've put my hands to the plow. There's no turning back. I've crossed the Rubicon. I've bent that bridge. I can't go back. And that's why, for me, recently, the shenanigans now, Attorney General, I said to him that, look, you better be careful. I can understand why the Attorney General made those comments last week. He made those comments 48 hours before the government went to the IMF, went for the board level. So he was pushed in. Because for the Attorney General to say in an interview with your sister station Joy that there are financial considerations in our bill.
Or say the bill in its current form, if it's passed, the president might not assent to it.
The Attorney General was not being truthful. He was being dishonest. Because the Attorney General said to Parliament on record at the committee level that the bill in its current form is fit for purpose and does not impose a financial charge.
At the committee level,
me be a direct question. Me Sam George, me be a direct question. Me see, Honorable Godfrey Dami, I want to hear from you for the records. Is our bill, after we have gone through clause by clause, because ni report.
Yeah.
In his report, he had stated that there were financial considerations. But by the time he came before us, we had done a lot of work on the bill. And he running it through, and then I'm say, I want to find out from you, does this bill have any challenges or are you comfortable with it? And the chairman of the committee, were overruling me question. Because I was putting the Attorney General on the spot. And the Attorney General sought leave of the chairman and said, he wants to answer. And said, Sam, quote me anywhere in the media that I said your bill is good. And in fact, even went ahead to tell me, say, I should quote him as saying, say, he supports the bill.
Godfrey Dami.
Put Godfrey Dami on the line today. Call him right now and let him deny that he said to me that I should quote him as saying that he supports the bill in its current shape and form and that it is fit for purpose. In fact, before the committee, he said several things about how this bill expands the frontiers of our marriage. In fact, when it comes to the Marriage Act, he said that, look, as far as it's concerned, in fact, Section 104 of the Criminal Offences Act, Godfrey Dami said he thought that as it stands today on our books is discriminatory, and that this bill takes away the discrimination because Section 104 talks about slightest level of penetration, and he holds the view said lesbians cannot do penetration, and so our bill evens out corrects that. He went ahead to cite the Children's Act and say when we say you cannot adopt or foster children, there have been amendments to the Children's Act, even in that. So we are strengthening the Children's Act. When we say we're voiding marriages, he said it is right because the Marriage Act recognizes marriage as a union between a man and a woman. Our bill takes it further to say a union between a man and woman whose sex was determined biologically at birth. He was in favor of all of that. And I said, Godfrey Dami said to me that I should quote him anywhere that he supports the bill. So why is he now saying that if the bill went to the president could not sign that there are constitutional challenges? If the government was going for an IMF program 2 days later, he should have been minded about his comments, and that's what I'm saying. He will be part of the debate, and I will put it to him on the floor and bring the records from the committee, because committee records are part of the records of the House.
Okay.
So our Attorney General must let us know what his stance is. He should stop flip-flopping. If they were going to the IMF and they needed approval, that's fine. We understand it. We need to save our economy. It's fine. Go. But don't come and flip-flop and try and paint a picture that there is a problem with the bill after you yourself have said you support it, after you yourself have given it a clean bill of health. Go and take the committee's report. The committee's report that was laid on the Thursday before Parliament rose on the 30th of March includes the Attorney General's approval
of the...
There is a paragraph that speaks about the Attorney General saying that he's comfortable with the bill
as it stands now.
So what is he talking about?
Okay.
It is such hypocrisy that gets me worked up.
Yeah, but
because your yes must be yes, your no must be no. We understand that yes, you had to go to the IMF, but did you by all means have to create a problem for the bill?
Very well. Said I mean, you are even much more resolved now to see this through, despite all the personal costs to you.
Sure.
And Adinina. But we say, Obi, do you recall any other alternative, knowledgeable voice on the communication subsector on the many issues that have come up in that sector aside Sam George? We sure can give it to him on that, right? Samson Ladi Anyanini and
anyway, Abaye Samson. I'm grateful.
Yeah,
I'm grateful.
Yeah. And the Titus Glover and so say, hi Obi, I'm enjoying Sam George's discussion with you. I call him the spear.
Yes. He's I told you they were senior. Titus prayed for me.
Oh.
I can show you because he sent a message.
Yeah.
I can mention his name. He prayed for me to have victory. He called me and encouraged me because of the LGBTQ bill. And that's why he sent you a message. He says, as far as he's concerned, on this matter, I am the spear and the whole country must back it.
Sam George, we wish you very well.
I'm grateful.
I'm hoping you go through the rest of your tenure, because you are still MP for Ningo Pram. The rest of your tenure.
1 year, 7 months.
And then in 2024, we'll see what happens.
The Lord will see us through.
Of course.
Definitely.
What's our target here? To open a 50,000 gap?
No, to get 100,000 votes for the NDC.
Ningo Pram.
Yes.
Now, registered voters, yes,
99,000.
And so, how do you get 100,000?
That's a very limited registration.
Oh, okay.
Very limited registration. For me, I ran under a certain grace of double portion. In 2016, I got 26,000.
Yeah.
In 2020, we got maybe 50,000.
Okay.
The gap was 10,000 in 2016. It's 30,000.
Yeah.
So from 50,000, we are going to 100,000. That grace will see us through.
Wow.
And once again, let me just say a very big thank you to the delegates of Ningo Pram for their honesty and candor. And I don't take for granted the mandate that they have given to me. And I just want to say a very big thank you to them. I will not let them down. I would work even harder than I have ever worked to ensure that this trust that not just the people of Ningo Pram but the people of Ghana have reposed in me, and the support that we enjoy it is not wasted.
But when him said the Asen North MP's name is being expunged from the records of Parliament,
it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I heard it today. It's most unfortunate, and I think that this is a bill that there's a bill that I think
private members bill
that we need to
amending
look at, because you see, Obi, I ask myself the hypocrisy of our system. And quickly here, we are taking an MP out because administrative processes
a delay
even during COVID. He had taken all steps within his control, but you see, process name at the time he filed, not at the time he contested. But we are also comfortable as a country to have approved a minister who says to us that portions of his engagement with security services of a foreign nation are things he will not speak on camera. The Minister for Agric, during the vetting of Brian Champo, questions were asked of him of his engagement with the US military. He said it is privileged information that we, the taxpayers who are paying him, do not have rights to know. He was working with a security service of a foreign nation. Our laws find it fit that he should be a minister of state today. But we say someone who was just a citizen and took the steps to renounce his citizenship is unfit to be an MP. Our laws are upside down. Something is wrong with our system.
Thank you, Sam George. And the attending can you see signs in the higher Senpai FM make us say the two Kojos are ready. Kojo Edward Sari, Kojo Boatena Jemanche.